How hard has it been?
It's got its ups and downs. I mean, you know, I didn't really work my program the first time I got sober, which is going to automatically stop the process. Your chances of relapse are much higher. And I relapsed. And now I have a year again sober. Any city and state that you go to, if you have connections, when you're a drug addict and you're an alcoholic, you make connections in every city that you go to. So you know when you get there, you make the phone call before or after the show, and you get whatever you're going to get. The way I look at all drugs, alcohol, any type of addiction, I don't, for me personally, believe in addictive personality. Everything is by choice.
Yeah.
You choose to continue doing the drug repeatedly. You choose to drink excessive amounts.
But doesn't there...
I was doing about a fifth of Jack Daniels a day, about an 8-ball of Coke a night.
And what's an 8-ball of Coke?
8-ball of Coke, I believe, is more than a gram. It might be 2 grams. It's about a baggie, about that big, about that wide, full. It just got progressively worse. And, you know, between the alcohol and then doing so much cocaine, I would be up till 6, 7 in the morning. I would then take prescription pills such as Xanax or...
What does that do for you?
Xanax is a prescription drug for anti-anxiety, but the excessive amount I would take would put me straight to sleep. And I would finish it off with a shot of Jack Daniels to make sure I went to sleep. First time that I OD'd, I was with my girlfriend at the time, and I drug her through the trenches as well. I got her to do coke with me. I didn't want to be on a different plane than her. I wanted her to be wherever I was in my head. And I got it from someone that wasn't a reliable source. I believed that it was laced with something else, probably speed. And the reaction I got was not the same reaction I got when I did coke normally from the people that I got it from, that I trusted. And went into convulsions, hard sweats, foaming at the mouth. My eyes rolled back in my head for about 10 seconds. It was just a horrible thing. And I wouldn't take myself to the hospital because I didn't want anyone to know that I was doing drugs. So I just stayed at home and dealt with it.
Because you're still performing regularly during this time.
And I didn't want anyone to know. The boys didn't really know. You know,
the boys didn't know?
They didn't know that I had been doing coke yet. They knew about the excessive drinking. There was a breaking point for the fellas and me. I started getting worried because we had random drug testing going on, because there was skepticism amongst the 5 of us if I was doing drugs or not. So before every show, we would go and do a urine test, and I would go and get mine from somewhere else, from somebody who I knew was clean, and try to keep cheating it and cheating it and cheating it.
So you would borrow urine?
You'd go to whatever nth degree that you could to not get caught. And then finally it came down to it where Kevin made his intervention with me. You know, he came and he broke the door down, and then he tried to get into my bedroom, had a separate door, and I double bolted it, and called me every name under the sun, told me he'd never trust me again, told me he hated me, and that was it. That was it for me. I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. This is done. Called my security, called my mom. I said, I want to come home. I want out of the group. I can't do it anymore. And the next day I flew to Sierra Tucson in Tucson, Arizona. At first, I kind of sat there in my room behind the door and just laughed in a psychotic state of, like, complete denial. And when he walked out of the room, I lost it, started bawling, and then called my security on the phone and said, dude, I want to go home. I'm done with this.
Well, it got to a point where we couldn't stand the person he was becoming. I didn't want to be around him anymore. I couldn't stand him. And it had reached a point where he was totally unreliable.
Was that the turning point for you?
Yes. That was when I said, I can't do this anymore to myself. And I can't do this anymore to them and to my family and to my relationships that I had with my friends my fiance, everything. It had to stop then. Because had it not stopped then, it would have just gotten progressively worse to the point of death for me, killing someone else, DUI, jail time, getting kicked out of the group, whatever it could have been, I would have lost my life.
You know, the whole world found out about it, and it was hard, and we aired our laundry out. We living in the spotlight, try to keep things tucked under, you know, and look him in his eyes and see a person behind those eyes instead of just some glaze. You know,
It had gotten that bad?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Brian? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he just looked dead.
Just looked dead. Why did you decide to go this public?
Because I haven't really officially done or said anything since rehab explaining what's happened after rehab and explaining what I've gone through and what is, and basically where I am today. I've done a couple of interviews for magazines, but never a real in-depth, heart-to-heart, face-to-face. And, you know, this was an opportunity for me that I wasn't going to pass up to really just talk about. Thank you, each of you. Thank you a lot. And it's good to have us all back together again. It's good for all of us to be in the same frame of mind again.
You guys have some stuff in common. Do you know about that? Back in the day, you used to party pretty hard.
I was doing a bottle of Jack a day, tons of blow beyond compare. I found peace of mind now, you know. I've been clean and sober now for 2 years. Life is good.
Congratulations, man.
Are you ever tempted, though? Do you feel like having a drink right now or not at all?
It's a matter of like being able to control yourself, you know. It's like if you start doing anything, that's all you want to focus on. That's all you want to do is focus on partying.
I lost all my friends. I had no family.
And you watch your world sort of dissolve around you, man. It's like you're in a glass box and people are watching you and they're watching every move you make. And sometimes the moves you make are just growing up. It's your life.
The media is waiting for you to fuck up and fall, and as long as you get to know yourself through the process and you're strong, you can just turn to them and say, fuck you. You know, I am who I am today because I'm sober.
And it's kind of sad because that's what fame or whatever the fuck you want to call it does.
I think we got two best friends here now. I can see you guys hanging out and keeping each other out of trouble.
Absolutely, dude.
One last thing I want to know, just everybody out there that might have a problem, what advice would you have if someone has a little drinking problem or a drug problem?
If you know you have a problem, admit that you have a problem. That's the first thing that you got to do.
It's just one day at a time.
And just really focus on nothing but getting, you know, clean. And have a good family unit, have a good support group.
Life is about being content and happy. Well, do the best you can, whatever that may be, to wake up in the morning and be content and happy with your life and your surroundings.
What is it like when somebody at such a young age gets so famous all of a sudden? That has got to be a really tough thing for that person and for their mom, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has an effect, as I talk about in the book, and that's a large part of the book. It talks about the family dynamic of how the entertainment industry and the success of that, if you're, you know, very successful very quickly, how that affects your family dynamic, how it affects your just your well-being, your health, everything.
Right. Now, he had some trouble, as I mentioned at the top, some trouble with addiction, with depression.
Yeah, it stemmed a lot from between the pressures of the business plus the fact that being away from his family, he was so close to his family, and his grandmother became ill, very, very close, like a second mom to him. That, I think, really pushed him over the edge when it came to the drinking and then eventually the drugs, and the depression just overwhelmed him, and he just couldn't get out of that hole.
And I guess if you're away from your family, you're on the road, you're so famous, you have all these girls who love you, it's very hard. You're not around, you're not in a regular kind of atmosphere. I mean,
exactly.
It's just got to be strange.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very surreal atmosphere.
Yeah.
And very, very, like I say, the pressure is just overwhelming because here he was so young. I mean, he started with him at 14.
Right, but he's doing great now, and you said he's conquered all that, and we mentioned the crime-fighting thing, and now he's going back in the studio, right?
Right. The boys are going back in the studio. They're getting ready to record a new album to be out in the spring, and hopefully they'll tour in the summer.
All right, and nothing like having your mom sing your praises on TV. Denise McLean, thank you. And again, the name of the book, Backstreet Mom. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much, Bridget.
One of them, band member AJ McLean. Fame was a house of mirrors.
I was completely lost within
myself. I was very selfish, very self-seeking, me type of attitude.
It began as partying, alcohol, prescription drugs, and grew into a full-blown addiction, throwing his life into turmoil.
My relationship with my family deteriorated. My relationship with the boys deteriorated. And my life was just going straight to hell. I mean, it was not good. And then, it just got progressively worse and worse and worse.
He just got lost in the hype, the drinking, the lifestyle, the fame.
Drinking, pill popping, it escalated to more.
I want to say 2000 is around the time when I got into cocaine. I tried it for the first time the night of the Call video shoot.
AJ, where have you been?
A little bit here, a little bit there. We all took a well-needed break. We were touring pretty straight for about 8, almost 9 years. And after the last tour, we were all a little bit fried. There's a lot of negativity after that last tour. After 9/11 happened, I went to rehab. And I was working on my sobriety and just
How long
myself.
you've been sober? How long now?
About 2 years and 8 months.
Good
now.
for you.
My life has changed for the better. I love it.
Yeah. So you probably, I mean, seriously, I'm not even joking. You probably don't remember a lot of the tour.
I don't. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't even enjoying your success.
I really wasn't. I was taking everything for granted. I really was. And now I can look back and that's in the past. Now everything I see and experience with these guys is new and fresh, and I can appreciate it and be very grateful and thankful for it. And I appreciate all the support from all the people.
That's great, yeah.
All our fans. Thank you.
That's hard.
Brian Littrell of the Backstreet Boys on Bob 93.3. And if we can touch on one subject here, Brian, I know it was announced last week that, AJ's back in rehab, and of course our blessings and thoughts are with him. How is he doing? Are you able to keep in touch with him on a daily basis, or what's going on?
I can't keep in touch with him on a daily basis. I did speak to him the day before he went into rehab, but I'll make this announcement known to all the fans listening, is that this was something that was decided on about a month and a half ago. AJ came to us while we were on the road together, and he said that, he was looking to make an appointment to go back into rehab and to better himself, because he knew that, he knew 2011 is going to be crazy.
Right.
It's going to be a busy year. We'll look up in 2012, we'll be here, and we'll still be on the road. So it's a good step for him. I think he's working on himself first, which he needs to. Secondly, that'll make him a better group member, a better person in general. And as his big brother, I've spent 18 years of my life with him, and as his big brother, I'm very proud of him. I'm proud that he would go into a situation like this willingly,
right?
Versus, last time it wasn't that way. Last time it was a lot worse. He really went into rehab unwillingly the last time. So, I think he's doing the steps and taking the steps today to be a better person first, and in the long run, that will help him.
Conversation this morning with Howie D from the Backstreet Boys. Several times. So we got to ask you about AJ. How's AJ doing?
AJ is doing very, very well. He's actually, I'm very proud of him. It's, with us and what we do, our lives are like an open book. Anytime we turn around and, say the wrong thing or wake up on the wrong side of bed, the world knows about it. And, it takes a lot, I think, for somebody to be able to, look at themselves and say, hey, I need to check myself, and maybe get a little help. I think, and, for all of us out there, I don't think anybody's too big to get help here and there. And I think AJ, has dealt with issues in the past and, unfortunately has relapsed and has been big enough to say, hey, before I go get ready to embark on, first of all, this last tour the Backstreet Boys are doing for South America on this one leg of this previous album, and then embark on the next chapter, which will be the whole New Kids Backstreet Boys tour. He's like, I just want to take some time for myself and get some help to deal with some issues. And I'm very proud of him. I think he's going to be even stronger than ever when he comes back. And I saw how the results were the first time he did it, and he was just a changed person, and a really, really strong soul. So I'm very proud of him, and I'm also very thankful for all the support we're getting from all the fans and everybody out there.
Howie D from the Backstreet Boys with us. We're talking about the new tour with New Kids and also about AJ re-entering rehab.
So was this his decision, or was it a band decision too?
It was definitely his decision. I mean, we definitely encouraged him because, we saw him going down that path, that road again, and definitely not as escalated as it was when the first time around. But, we could see how, old habits are very easy to come, get back into. And so we talked with him about it, and, he thought that he might be able to, keep it under control and, this time around just do it a little bit more moderations. And he just realized that it was getting a little, it was taking more of control of him. And so he, had planned on, this is our downtime right now from the holidays after the New Year's ball dropping that we did with the New Kids. And we have this time off until we go on tour in South America, middle of February. So it was always planned for probably a good, 4 or 5 months to do it this time. I don't think anybody's too big to get help.